So today we will start chapter number 10, circles. So in chapter number 9, areas related to parallelogram, it is finished now. Up to exercise what 9.2 required. No? So in online classes we have already finished this up to exercise 9.2. So today we will start chapter number 10, which is our circle. So everyone knows about circle. So it is a circle. So circle is a collection of points on a plane. That means these both on a plane which are equidistant from a certain point. Understand? Circle is the collection of points on a plane from a certain point. That certain point is called the center of the circle. Okay. So in a circle, any point, any line segment which joins the center and any point of the circle is called radius of circle. And in a circle, a line segment that joins any two points of the circle is called its chord. So this is chord. A chord of a circle which passes through the center of the circle is called the diameter of the circle. So this is the chord of a circle which passes through the center of the circle. So it is called diameter. Say O is the center, OA is the radius, PQ is the chord of a circle, LM is the diameter of circle. So if a line intersects the circle in two distinct points, then that line can be called a secant. These are line segments. If we talk about line, this is the line. Say X and Y. So this line XY intersects this circle into distinct points. So this line can be called the secant of the circle. Now suppose again we will draw one circle. So again we have drawn a circle with center O. Got? So this circle divides the plane. That means this circle divides this blackboard or green board into three parts. These are the exterior of the circle. Got? This portion is the interior of the circle. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And the circle itself, that means the outline of the circle, that means the circle itself. Understand? A circle divides a plane into three parts: exterior of the circle, interior of the circle, and the circle itself. And as we can draw a circle on a plain paper or a plain surface, so a circle is said to be a plane figure. Understood? Now suppose we have a point P. Another point we have, say Q. Again we have one point, say here point R. Got? We can draw a radius, say OA. Huh? If distance of a point from the center, say if we join O and P. Huh? If distance of a point from the center is greater than its radius, then that point will lie in the exterior of the circle. So here we can write, if OP, length of OP, that means this length is greater than OA, where OA is the radius of the circle, then that point P will lie in the exterior of the circle. Suppose we join this O and Q. Huh? Now say distance of point Q from the center O will be less than that of radius OA. Got? In this case, the point Q will lie in the interior of the circle. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Suppose now we join this R point from the center. Say we join O and R. If here we can say that OR is equal to OA, where OA is the radius of the circle, then the point will lie on the circle. Understood? Understood? So now we will discuss the next remaining parts of the circle.
So you say, Professor, from that circle, XY is called what, sir?
XY. XY is called secant.
Second, sir.
S-E-C-A-N-T. Secant. S-E-C-A-N-T. Secant.
Both is not mentioned anywhere, sir.
No. Additionally I said it is called secant,
Sir, which intersects?
which intersects and passes out from the points, crosses the points. Line segment, this one, it is called a line segment joining any two points of the circle which passes through the center is called diameter. A line segment which joins the center and any point of the circle is called radius. A line segment joining any 2 points on the circle is called chord of the circle. Okay. So let's move on to the next parts of the circle. In a circle, suppose we have one circle. Suppose this is a circle with center O. So if we consider this part from here to here, it is called an arc of the circle. Understood? So this part, the remaining this part will be also called an arc of the circle. So suppose we have a diameter of the circle. Say, suppose we have a diameter of the circle. Got? If you rub these two parts, this is called semicircle. If the endpoint of and R is the ends of diameter of the circle, then it is called semicircle. Got? Now two arcs we got. Huh? This arc is called minor arc, and this arc is called major arc of the circle. Understand? Okay. Now, with center of, got? If we draw a chord, suppose we have drawn this chord P Q, got? So this chord divides this circle into two parts, this part and this part. So each part is called segment of the circle. This part is called major segment, and this part is called minor segment of the circle. That means the definition of segment is the region. This is the region bounded between an arc and a chord of a circle is called segment. The segment can be major and minor. Understood? So, suppose this is the center O. Suppose we draw two radii, say OA and this one OB. Two radii of circle we have drawn. So these two radii divide the circle again into two parts. This part and this part. So each part is called sector of the circle. This is called major sector. This is called minor sector. That means the region bounded between an arc and two radii of a circle is called sector. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Huh? Okay. In theorem, theorem number is what? 10.1. It is given that for two equal chords, suppose we have a chord AB, another chord we have say CD. If length of AB is equal to length of CD, got? Then angle subtended by AB, first chord, adjacent. That means if we join O and A and O and B, again if we join O and C and O and D. So this is angle AOB is the angle subtended by chord AB. Angle COD is the angle subtended by chord CD. If AB is equal to CD, if these two chords are equal, then these two angles will be equal. Got? This is our theorem. A converse theorem is there which says that if these two angles are equal, we don't know whether AB and CD are equal or not. Simply we are given that these two angles are equal. The angle subtended by two, if the angle subtended by two chords at a center are equal, then the two chords must be equal. Understood? So now in exercise 10.2, question number 1 you write. So in our first question, it is given that we have two congruent circles, and we have two equal chords of two congruent circles. We need to show that the angles subtended by equal chords of two congruent circles at a center are equal. That means this angle and these angles are, these two angles are equal. So we will write AB and CD are two equal chords of congruent circles C1 and C2 with centers O and O dash. Got? We join OA, OB, O dash C and O dash D. Got? A, B and C, D are equal chords of congruent circles C1 and C2 with center O and O dash. We join OA, OB, OC and OD. Got? To show that angle AOB is equal to angle CO dash D. That means this angle is equal to this angle. So now proof part. So we will take this triangle and this triangle. So for triangle AOB and triangle CO dash D. Got? So we are given that AB is equal to CD, which is given. OA is equal O dash C, because these two are radii of congruent circles. Dot OB is equal O dash D. Region is same, radius of congruent circles. Dot this OB and OD are equal. Therefore, from S rule, what? This triangle and this triangle are congruent. So by S rule, triangle AOB is congruent to triangle CO dash D. Got? Now by CP, what we can write? This angle is equal to this angle. So angle AOB is equal to angle CO dash D by CPCT, corresponding parts of congruent triangles. So in this way it is proved. Understood? So in that next question also you can do. In next question, what is given? This part is given. We need to prove this part, A, B equal to C. That's all. Understood?